Right, you lot. I went back to Reddit, and now I'm questioning whether humanity deserves Wi-Fi. Some of you OGs might remember when I used to deep dive Reddit posts like war correspondent in clown territory. Well, guess what? We're doing it again. But this time, I brought heavier firepower. Gloves are off, filters broken, and my soul's already halfway to hell just from reading first post. Right, XDefiant subreddit's no longer just a gathering of confused COD refugees. It's a twonk sanctuary, safe space for lost, clueless, and tragically unplugged. It's not even rage bait anymore. It's tragedy porn for cynical gamers like us. I used to do videos all the time about Reddit posts, back when I first started uploading to this channel. Check them out if you want. And yeah, before anyone opens the gobs, I'm holding back on accent. Still am, to be honest. You want full Yorkshire rage mode? Leave a comment. I'll drop a video so raw it'll melt your headphones and summon Thatcher's ghost. But today we're exposing Reddit, and it's worse than I remembered. Strap in, grab your sarcasm shields, cause we're going in, and these Reddit posts, they're about to get obliterated. First up on Reddit Rogue's gallery is specimen by name of Biggertie, which already sounds like a boss in a knockoff Souls game no one asked for. Their post, possible to download? Now this is where my soul started to leave my body. I've never downloaded the game before, and I've seen a couple of videos about it now, and the game looks really interesting. I saw a couple of months ago that there were and did delist game for new downloads, and I was just wondering if there were any possibility of me being able to still give it a try while I can. Mate, that's not a question. It's a verbal car crash in a fog of confusion. This is what happens when a single neuron tries to carry an entire load of cognitive function. You know that phrase, you don't know what you got till it's gone? Turns out this old generation of gamers are learning it in real time while drooling on the keyboards. But it gets better. He got a reply from a user named 6177152020, which sounds like a spam bot from 2003 Nokia, who says, "No, unfortunately not, but you can download finals. I heard great things about it." Oh, good. A completely unrelated game suggestion, like asking where to fight milk and being handed a live goat. And then Biggertie says, "That's what I've been playing for FPS itch recently. I mostly want a COD alternative, but XDefiant looked so good." Looked so good. Past tense. As if game actually died while they were writing sentence. Here's the thing. Biggertie ain't evil. He's just light. Fashionably? No. Functionally. XDefiant's been around. It had millions of players. It wasn't hiding in a cave. It were right there. But Ubisoft buried it under a mountain of PR silence and marketing so thin you'd need a microscope to spot it. Is it his fault game failed? No. But is it symptom of why it couldn't succeed? Absolutely. People like Biggertie didn't even know it existed until it were too late. And that's on Ubisoft's complete inability to market a game without tripping over its own shoelaces. Now part of me wants to throw Biggertie a bone and tell him it's not your fault. But rest of me wants to stamp twonk approved on his forehead and send him to recycle bin of Reddit stupidity. Where do you stand? Drop it in comments, but keep it savage. Now buckle fuck up. Next we got a post from someone who calls himself Psychological Tank 6, which sounds like a rejected Decepticon with a sociology degree. Post, why I think XDefiant was shut down based on available information. Available information, he says. Oh yeah, here comes Wikipedia-level geopolitics, tinfoil logic, and enough mental gymnastics to qualify for Olympics. He drops this. French family controlling Ubisoft wanted investment from Tencent, but also wanted to keep control. Okay, fair. We're starting slow. Sounds vaguely educated. So they waited until after AC Shadow's release to see revenue. Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry IPs were given to subsidiary. Tencent owns 25%. XDefiant used both companies' IPs, so it had to go blah blah blah, buy out this investment that. Mate, calm down. You're not cracking a Da Vinci Code for Ubisoft's financials. You're connecting dots with a crayon and calling it a blueprint. And then my personal favourite, XDefiant what last gasp at old gaming. I feel sorry for young gamers. We millennials and Gen X had it really good. Right. First off, cheers for sympathy, Tank Lad. But millennials? Same crowd that spent the last 5 years screaming for SBMM, defending microtransactions like the mortgage depended on it, and speedrunning moral decay and multiplayer shooters. Yeah, them. Ones out here pretending they're gaming elders while simultaneously buying COD skins that look like vape ads. Millennials didn't have it good. They had it fair. And even they pissed it all away by giving Activision a blank check every November. Here's the thing. XDefiant didn't die cause of a Tencent conspiracy. It died cause Ubisoft couldn't market a fart in an elevator. No visibility, no creator support, no hype cycle, no roadmap with actual teeth. And nah, surprise, surprise, Tencent don't want aught to do with half-sunk ship. Can't say I blame them. Even sharks avoid rotting meat. Now Tank's worried Tencent will make their own version, with EOMM, pay-to-win bollocks, and all monetisation nightmares under the sun. Newsflash, they absolutely will. And it'll probably succeed cause masses lap that shit up. China's player base don't care about fair gameplay, they care about dopamine hits, daily rewards, and levelling up the credit card limit. So yeah mate, nice theory, but if we're handing out blame, split it between Ubisoft's marketing team, dopamine slaves of modern gaming, and millions of smooth-brained fools who treat innovation like it's a threat to the KD ratio. Rip XDefiant, killed by silence, not sabotage. Right then, this next one's from a Redditor by name Blue Dragon 4708. And let me tell you, it reads like a breakup letter to a game he never really loved. Post, please re-release. Let's dig in. Strap yourself in with a bungee cord, cause this one starts soft and ends with a face-first dive into peak twonkery. Hello, I think what Ubisoft should do is re-release game on Steam, but before that fix a bunch of issues. Game is very solid, or at least it was when I stopped playing it, just lacked a little content. Ah yeah, oh it were great when I stopped playing it paradox. Same logic as saying, I loved my job right up until I walked out and never came back. Still think it released at wrong time and on platforms. Nobody actually uses Ubisoft Connect. Everyone is either Steam or Epic Games. Oh sweet Jesus. Every time I hear this argument, a neuron ends its life out of sheer embarrassment. Let me break this down for Steam or Die cult. Ubisoft Connect is required no matter what launcher you use. Steam boots Ubi Connect. Epic boots Ubi Connect. Even if they dropped it on bloody Netflix games, guess what? It'd still boot Ubi Connect. You're not avoiding Ubi Launcher, you're just delaying it by pretending Steam is some magical DRM-free utopia instead of what it really is. A glorified library with pop-up ads for anime porn and seasonal sales. Your player base would have skyrocketed. No, it wouldn't have. You know what would have happened? Same 300,000 Steam warriors would have installed it, played 2 matches, realised they couldn't camp behind a pay-to-win skin with a 3.0 KD, and then uninstalled cause TTK felt weird. And this one line really slaps me sideways. Probably never gonna happen due to Ubisoft being a bunch of knuckleheads. He's right, but not for the reason he thinks. Ubisoft are knuckleheads cause they launched a solid game and they yeeted it into abyss with no marketing, no push, no proper rollout, no Steam support until it were already too late. And then there's this absolute galaxy brain gem. Nobody actually uses Ubisoft Connect. Nobody. Mate, 11 million players did. Just cause you're having a meltdown every time a launcher icon in blue and labelled Valve don't mean restaurants are brain dead. You think clicking an extra shortcut is what's killing your FPS? Newsflash, it's your toaster-powered laptop and that dial-up Wi-Fi you're stealing from your nan. You know who actually gets it? GOG users. Yeah, DRM-free, optional launcher, don't spy on your RAM usage or try to sell you $5 socks for your character. You want a platform that respects gamers? Try GOG. But you won't, will you? Cause it don't have anime profile pics or fake achievement pop-ups. And here's kicker. This lad said he'd still rather play XDefiant than new COD. And fucking do it, champ. It's free. It's still live. For now. But you're sat on Reddit writing eulogies like it's already buried under a headstone. Final score, 6 out of 10 for effort, 2 out of 10 brain power. Full marks for delusion. Steam won't save you, mate. No, it can. Right, you ever read something so staggeringly stupid so cosmically dense that your brain just seizes up trying to process it, like Windows 98 having a stroke mid-boot. Yeah, this is that post. Let me introduce you to Hinter the One, and trust me, if this guy's the one, then Neo took wrong fucking pill. Post is titled, "Is there any way I can reinstall?" Oh, strap in, cause it's not what you think, it's worse. This is what he wrote. I played on Xbox for a few months and actually really enjoyed XDefiant, but when shutdown were announced, I hadn't played in a while and deleted it. I'm a perfectionist and love getting 100% on games and accidentally uninstalled before I'd gotten last achievement. Is there any way I can reinstall on Xbox? I read something about being able to reinstall if you were registered before it shut down. Any help is appreciated. Thanks. Mate, you could have reinstalled game, earned achievement, made a sandwich in time it took you to post this. We've officially passed twonkery. We're now in uncharted territory. We're now in beyond twonkery. Population? You, mate. Let's unpack this disaster. You're on Xbox. You're an installed game. Fine. We've all done it. Cleaning up space, clearing backlog bloat. Whatever. But if you're a perfectionist, your word, not mine, why would you uninstall before you finish bloody thing? That's like ripping final page out of a novel cause you might be back later and then setting fire to bookmark. But no, he didn't Google it, didn't check Xbox Store, didn't open his library, where, brace yourselves, it would probably be right there, waiting with a big shiny install button. Now, he ran to Reddit, flailing, sobbing, begging for answers to a question a 3-year-old with a Fisher-Price tablet could have solved in 30 seconds. This isn't a reinstall problem, this is an attention problem. You know what? I'm starting to think Reddit isn't a forum anymore. It's an emotional support group for people who've lost plot and can't be asked to open a menu on the console. You could have been halfway to that platinum trophy by now, champ, but instead you chose Reddit therapy, hoping someone would pat you on the head and say, "It's okay, little soldier, reinstall fairy will save you." Jesus wept. What happened to self-sufficiency? What happened to figuring it out? Gaming used to be about challenge. Now it's just whinging in forums and hoping internet raises your hand for you. Mate, here's your answer. Yes, you can reinstall. Now piss off and earn that achievement, or don't. Just don't make another Reddit post about it, yeah? Next in Reddit Hall of Face Palms, we got Giotto Boy, who may as well rename himself to "Help me, I run on pure confusion." Post, compatible controllers for PC. And what follows its digital equivalent to someone staring at a full fridge and crying cause they don't know what to eat. Here's what lad says. "Hi, I wanted to play some more XDefiant before it shuts down, but my main controller for PC, an Xbox controller, has developed worst stick drift I've ever seen, despite only putting in about 500 to 600 hours of playtime on it. Right, so we got stick drift. Not new. That's what happens when you treat your controller like a stress ball during Warzone rage quits. 600 hours? That thing served longer than most marriages. I have a PS4 controller, a Switch Pro controller, a Wii U Pro controller, and a Steam controller just sitting around collecting dust. That's a collection, mate. That's not options, that's a bloody armoury. Which of these would be easiest to hook up and play XDefiant with? Edit. I should clarify that I want to play wirelessly. I'm laying pretty far away from my PC, and even if I had a cord long enough, it'd be awkward. Right. So what you're telling us, you've got 5 controllers, a dying Xbox pad, and rather than trying any of them like a functioning adult, you ran to Reddit to crowdsource a solution. Jesus wept. Again, this ain't gaming, it's existential dread with extra inputs. Mate, this is like owning 5 cars. Your main one breaks down, and instead of grabbing keys to any others, you walk to Reddit and ask which one turns on best. Try the fucking controllers. It's not an exam. No one's grading your decision. You're not defusing a bomb. You're playing an arcade shooter. One of them will work. If not, go buy a new Xbox controller and stop turning your gaming setup into a support hotline. And don't come at me with, "I want to play wirelessly." Lad, if distance from your chair to USB port is biggest threat to your gaming experience, then I've got news for you. You've peaked. There's no war left to fight. You've conquered laziness itself. This is what Reddit's become. A place where basic problem solving is outsourced to strangers cause plugging in a controller is now considered emotional labour. My kids? They would have solved this in silence and gone back to gaming before Reddit even finished loading. Giotto boy, your problem isn't hardware, it's firmware. And by that I mean your brain. And just when you thought Reddit rabbit hole couldn't get any deeper, along comes Celtin2497, armed with a keyboard, an account, and absolute no sense of how computers or time work. His post? Reinstalling. Simple title? Sinister implications. Let's read this digital migraine together. Sorry if this question's been asked before. I know re-downloads are possible from an account that has already accessed game. But does it need to be on the same computer, or will it still work if it's put on a machine that didn't have game files before? Right, read that again. Slowly. This is kind of question that makes your IQ try to walk out door. Will it work on a different machine? Yes. You're downloading it from bloody cloud, not carving it into stone tablets like a caveman Moses bringing 10 game installs down from Mount GPU. This is 2025, not 1998. Entire concept of digital distribution is based on install it anywhere, anytime, as long as it's your account. That's point. That's why it exists. Ubisoft might be brain dead when it comes to marketing, but even they know how to bind a game license to an account and not a bloody motherboard. It's real kicker though. He posted this instead of just trying it, like it was some metaphysical question, as if downloading XDefiant on a new PC had summoned Satan through Ethernet. And let's not pretend this is an isolated case. There are entire Reddit threads where people ask if games still exist, instead of, checking platform themselves. This is new generation of gamers. They got 1,000 plus hours in Warzone, but need a Reddit think tank to reinstall the game. How far have we fallen? You want to know how I used to reinstall game back in the day? I didn't. I reinstalled Windows 95 from floppy disk cause some DirectX update killed Half-Life. That were real pain. Real effort. Nah, you click 2 buttons, maybe enter your password, and boom, you're in. But nah. Let's go post on Reddit and wait 3 hours for some bloke called XX420 Dank Sniper XX to confirm that your PC could have done in 5 minutes. We've reached point where people are outsourcing basic trial and error cause thinking is hard, and Reddit will do it for free. Well done, Celtin. You've officially hit let me ask before I try threshold. That's not gaming, that's tech support LARPing. Now here's a gem buried so deep in Reddit's crust it probably evolved without oxygen. Jake McMurray08, a username that sounds like it came from a FIFA career mode auto-generator. Post this absolute belter. Can someone tell me why I just logged on to XDefiant for the first time in months and now I have everything in game? Right, let's pause. Breathe. Cause that sentence nearly gave me an aneurysm. Jake, mate, you're asking why a dead game being shut down with no monetization left gave you free stuff. Tell me you never paid attention to what in gaming industry without telling me. This is like walking into a store that's on fire and wondering why they're giving out free candles. Game's over, devs left, servers are on live support and plugs halfway out wall. Of course they handed out everything. What do you expect, mate? The final battle pass for $9.99 with sunsetting skin pack written on it. You got everything now, cause there's no point in selling out anymore. It's end of days discount bin. You're not special, you didn't win loot lottery, they gave everyone toys cause they're packing up playground and bulldozing it. Here's wild part, you played for months, you enjoyed it, and yet somehow between that gameplay and now, you missed memo, announcement, meltdown, videos, rage, digital sobbing from 11 million players. How do you play a live service game and miss fact that it's dying? That's like being on Titanic and not noticing ship sinking because you were too busy counting chairs. You got everything handed to you, lad. This is your gaming version of all-you-can-eat a Fort restaurant closes forever buffet. And what do? Run to Reddit to ask, like clueless NPC in a tutorial level who walks into a wall for 45 minutes. Jake, I'm not even angry. I'm just tired. This isn't even twonkery anymore. This is endgame ignorance. It's like Ubisoft gave you a final hug and you backed away nervously and asked, "Wait, why are you being nice to me?" Jesus Christ, lad. Lights are off, staff have gone home, and you're stood there asking why till's not ringing. Play it game, enjoy it loot, shut hell up. Right, now we've hit bottom at Reddit barrel. Worms are wearing KD hoodies, dirt smells like delusion. Say hello to Matty Tatty LFC. And if that name didn't already scream Liverpudlian FIFA merchant with an IQ or a damp tea towel, then wait till you hear his post. Title? Double XP. Here we fucking go. Anyone know if there's going to be a double XP before servers shut down? Need to get to level 50 for a PS trophy, but it takes forever to level up. Mate, what? Let me just paint scene for you. Dev team has been disbanded. Live services dead. Updates? Gone. Patch notes? Haven't been seen since Noah built Ark. And this lad's out here asking if XP Fairy is gonna swing by one last time and sprinkle magic dust over his battle pass. This is denial on a level even Elizabeth Kubler-Ross couldn't chart. There's no one left working on game. Servers are costing on borrowed time and back-end duct tape. Only thing they're updating is countdown to deletion. But Matty? He's standing in rubble, waving his dual sensing air like a divining rod, begging for a double XP weekend. Like janitor at Chernobyl wondering if there'll be tea and biscuits in break room after Meltdown. And here's the bit that truly cut me cortex. Need to get to level 50 for a PS trophy. Trophy. Not even gameplay. Not even fun. Just a digital sticker to complete your imaginary scrapbook. Here's our truth, Matty. That platinum means that much to you. You better make XDefiant your full-time job until June 3rd. Because there's no boost, no bonuses, no devs. Only cold, brutal grind. And I hate to break it to you, mate, but you're begging Reddit for double XP in a shut-down game. You're not a trophy hunter. You're a cloutless completionist with a saviour complex. This is mindset that's killing gaming. Not because it's evil. No, that'd be too exciting. Because it's so mind-numbingly boring. It's corporate-trained OCD masquerading as passion. Here's your reality check. Game's dying, world ain't getting your bonus XP, and that platinum trophy, it don't care if you missed it. Neither does your PS5. Only you, and now, tragically, rest of Reddit. I stared at that post for a good 10 minutes, just stunned, like watching a man try to resuscitate a corpse using V-Bucks and wishful thinking. Matty, mate, it's over. Put down controller, step away from fantasy, and let XDefiant rest in peace. And there you have it, folks. We came, we scrolled, we witnessed absolute collapse of cognitive function in real time. This wasn't just a Reddit deep dive. This were a full-blown archaeological dig into fossilised remains of common sense. And what did we find? Twonks. Twonks as far as I could see. Don't get it twisted. This isn't some elitist gatekeeping bollocks. I'm not saying you need a PhD to play games. But Jesus Christ. You should at least be able to reinstall one without forming a Reddit cult to ask how gravity works. This generation of gamers, they've got guides, AI, endless tutorials, walkthroughs, and still, they can't figure out how to plug in a controller or check a goddamn launcher. Meanwhile, we grew up blowing dust out of cartridges and learning game mechanics by pure trauma. We didn't have wikis, we had rumours, urban legends. Kid down the street who swore Mewtwo were behind that truck in Pokemon. And guess what? We still managed to finish our games without asking Reddit if pressing install means it'll actually install. This isn't me just reading Reddit, this is me standing at gates of gaming's digital asylum and realising inmates are running servers. See its final message to sane few still watching. If you want rare ones with a functioning brain, a controller that don't drift, and willpower to uninstall a game we are to support group, and congratulations, you are resistance. And to rest of Reddit, maybe next time try thinking before typing. Or don't, because let's be honest, your stupidity makes for excellent content. Join Discord, follow on X, check out channel memberships. All links are in the description. Smash that like button, hit subscribe and leave your comments and questions below. It might just feature on my channel. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.